Okay, we're going to do a video here. It's a variation of the stimulator I like to tie. It's called the Foam Stimi. Got a size 10 2 extra long bent shank hopper hook here in the vise. I've got my 6/0 fluorescent thread. I'm going to start out by laying down a base of thread on the hook shank. I'm going to run it down here to the bend of the hook and go past the barb, and then here I'm going to build a little bit of a ball of thread back here. This kind of represents what I think is the egg sac. Get a nice little ball of thread here. Now another little trick that I like on these is to really enhance them a little bit. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of a UV resin. It kind of enhances this a little bit, and it also gives it a little bit of durability back here, because this is where all those sharp teeth are on the trout. We're going to hit it with our light. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to run my thread now back to the right in front of it, and I'm going to grab my material for the tail. I've cleaned and stacked a clump of natural bull elk hair. Make sure the ends are nice and even. Okay, I'm going to measure my tail. Now, not quite a half a shank length long. And then I'm going to tie this in right in front of the little ball. Make sure I like my length, which I do. Yeah, I like that. There we go. So now I'm going to run my thread up here to about the 2/3 point. I'm going to grab all these ends and bind them down. We're going to bind this all down here. Okay, bring all this up here. Clip it all off. Okay, so now I'm going to just make sure it's all secured in. And now I'm going to grab my wire rib, and we're going to attach, this is an extra small copper wire. And I'm going to attach it right on the side of the hook. Okay. Now here's where the difference is than most stimulators. On the body, I'm using a product called Razor Foam, put out by Wapsi. I cut a narrow strip, taper the end, and that's the end I'm going to tie in. I'm going to tie it in on the side of the hook, and I'm going to run it right up to the front of the tail. Now I'm going to move my thread back up here to the 2/3 point. Now I'm going to grab my hackle pliers and grab a hold of the Razor Foam. And I found the Razor Foam's a little easier to wrap when you in a pair of hackle pliers. I'm going to get it on top of each other, and now I'm going to start stretching it a little bit. And I'm going to wrap this forward in open spirals to my thread. And we're going to tie it off. There we go. Take a couple more wraps of thread. Okay. Now we're going to get our hackle. And on this pattern, I like to use it's a barred ginger. It's a light tannish, grizzly looking. It's a light barred ginger, and I'm going to tie this in what we call shiny side up. Okay, now I'm going to going to take this and I'm going to wrap this to the back. I'm going to take 2 wraps right in front, and then I'm going to open the spiraling up and run this to the back. Once I get it back here, I'm going to grab my wire and bring that over, and that's going to hold down the hackle. And then I'm just going to quickly run this through the hackle. And if you notice, when you go through it nice and quick, you have less tendencies to bind down the hackles. So I'm going to come in and clip off the wire and then clip off the tag end of the hackle. So there we go, we got the back half of the fly. Now I'm going to take my thread and run it right up here to in front of the hackle. Do some minor adjustments. Now I'm going to grab as an underwing a couple strands of crystal flash, and this is a rainbow. I don't like to use a lot, but I'm using 2 strands, and then when I fold it back over, it will give me 4 strands. I'm going to come just past the tails, clip it. Now I've cleaned and stacked a clump of elk hair for my wing. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at the wing there. That looks pretty good. A little heavy. I want to take a little bit out of that. And this is a natural bull elk. I'm going to restack it a little bit. There we go. Still didn't like the way it's stacked. Aha, there we go. Okay. I got that right where I want it. So I'm going to measure my wing. I'm going to go back about to the midpoint of the tail. Switch hands, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to pre-cut the butt ends. So then I'm going to bring it in, set it on top, take a couple loose wraps, kind of pull it down. Before I bind it down, I want to take a good look. Okay, yeah, like the length. So now I'm just going to come through these ends and bind it all down. And now I'm going to cover it all up with the thread. Okay. Okay, now we got the wing. I'm just going to make some final adjustments here. Another thing I like to do right now is just to help make this a little more durable. I'm going to put a couple drops of head cement right on all that, the threads and the butt ends. Alright, now I'm going to take my front hackle, and I'm going to go ahead and tie this in, and this is just a standard grizzly. I'm going to strip the ends of it. So I've got a standard grizzly hackle, and I'm going to also tie this in shiny side up. I'm going to run that up right in front of the wing. Now we got the hackle in. Now I'm going to grab, we got Stimi without rubber legs. That ain't a Stimi. So we're going to grab a couple of the yellow barred rubber legs. Get these ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of the legs here. And for right now, I'm just going to carefully tie them in with 2 wraps, or 3 wraps right on top. So now I'm going to grab the one closest to me, pull it down to the side, and then the other one, I'm I'm going to pull it and get it on the other side. So now I'm going to take and pinch them and bind them down. Make a quick adjustment there. And then I'm going to go up a ways here. Just get them bound down right where I want them. Okay. So now we're going to dub the thorax. Another little variation I like to do on these is I'm going to use a golden brown eye stub on the thorax. Grab a nice bunch here. We're going to dub the thorax here. Alright, I'm going to start wrapping this. I'm going to bring it right in front of the wing here. I'm going to run it down. Okay, we're just going to need a little bit more dubbing here. Just add a little bit more. Okay. So now I'm going to take and pull these legs back. Kind of take the dubbing and run it right up here in front. Come back. Come back here. Right up here to the eye of the hook. There we go. And I'm going to leave the thread right behind there. And we're going to grab the hackle now. And I'm going to wrap this. And keep it coming here to the front, right in front of the couple wraps, right in front of the legs. Don't crowd it. And we're going to tie this off. Clip your excess. Kind of reach in here, move everything back. Get our head. And do a quick whip finish. Okay. Come in, clip our tag in. I'm going to make sure everything's clear here. So I'm going to clip my back legs just to the back. Just about midway down the shank. About to the midpoint of the tail. And then the front legs I'm going to clip about half as long. And a couple minor adjustments. Drop a head cement on the thread. And there we have it. One razor foam Stimi. One minor adjustment, and we are ready for the fly box.